Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and these are the Hi-Point AR-15s. There are two different variants that, of course, you can see right here in front of me that they come in, and there's also a 300 blackout version, but these ones specifically are the 5.56 versions. You have a 10.5-inch pistol and a 16-inch rifle. So in this video, we're going to break them down tip to butt, talk all about the features. We're going to go through the tech specs first, then we're going to verify some of those tech specs after we go tip to butt, and then we will wrap up the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the tech specs portion of the video. Grab these and move them over here. First things first, we're going to start out with the rifle version. Of course, that's a 16-inch barrel. You do have an A2 flash hider up front, and overall it weighs 6.25 pounds. You do have a 15-inch M-LOK handguard with Picatinny rail foley up top, and it's a 1-in-8 twist rate on that barrel, with a thread pitch of 1/2x28 in case you're wondering. The gas system in the rifle specifically is carbine. That barrel is made out of 4150 chrome vanadium. You do have a 75-75 T6 upper and lower, both aluminum of course. And finally, you do have a standard capacity magazine in the box. Now, if we switch over to the pistol, most of this is going to be very similar, as you might expect. Of course, the 75-75 T6 aluminum upper and lower receivers remain the same barrel, chrome vanadium barrel, and of course your A2 flash hider. But what you do get that's pretty significantly different, of course, is in the back and the front. So you do have a different handguard. So it has Picatinny up top, but it also has M-LOK up top. That handguard is 9.5 inches. Now you do have a different twist rate in here as well. It's a 1-in-7 twist rate versus 1-in-8 on the actual rifle length version. And then of course, to wrap it all off, the only thing that you get on the rifle that you don't get here is an actual QD sling point on the rifle, which you don't get on the pistol. So let's go ahead and dive in tip to butt on what you're getting with both of these guns. The rifle version does have that QD sling point, which will differ a little bit, so you can see that side by side. Now, both of them do have that bird cage style A2 flash hider up front, and it actually is one of the ones that does not have the holes all the way through. It is solid on the bottom, so it will help to deflect that muzzle rise down just a little bit. Of course, that full Picatinny rail on the rifle version and M-LOK slots on the sides and bottom, whereas I did describe earlier, it's a little bit different on the pistol variant. Hi-Point does want you to know who makes this, as a bright white logo is right there on your lower receiver, which is always fun. You do have a mil-spec charging handle, so everything's clear, nothing in the magazine. We do clear every gun before we ever start any videos. Mil-spec charging handle, always good to see. You also have your mil-spec bolt release on the left side, which is exactly what you would expect. You do have a mil-spec mag release as well. This does remain the same on both of them, and an A2 grip. A2 grips, if you don't know, are grippy. They're actually fairly aggressively grippy on the sides, a little bit less so on the front and back, but they do have a finger groove on them as well to keep them a little bit more grippy. Now, the trigger on these is also going to remain the same, so let's go ahead and give you an example of what that's like. All right, the trigger pull is just as follows. So it's a one-stage trigger. There was no movement there. That was actually super solid. And then let's go ahead and show you that release. And then no movement. So you did have a little bit of movement on the reset, but where your actual trigger pull, it's right there. And just for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and double check that on the pistol variant. Nothing in the mag. We are clear. Yeah. There's no movement here. Bang. That is quite nice. Good triggers overall. Good job, Hi-Point. If you miss the white text, there is a etched in, so a little bit embossed or engraved into the firearm, Hi-Point information, serial number, all that good stuff on your left side. Now we're going to talk about the final piece that is different between the two. You do have a brace on that pistol variant because it's not an SBR, so you do have a brace on there versus a more mil-spec style stock that does have adjustability to it. That brace you can adjust. There's actually a little bit, so this is all polymer right here, but right underneath here, you'll feel a little bit of a metal. I'm not sure really how well you can see that on camera. You have a little metal protrusion. You push that back this direction, and it releases, and you can actually adjust that brace. So they both do adjust. The brace is just a fin style with a standard sling portion, whereas you do get a standard sling kind of mount here, as well as a QD sling mount. So you have more options on the rifle variant. Really depends on what you're in the market for. These make a really good argument to be very good value options in that AR-15 space. So now let's verify some of those tech specs, see how long they are, how much they weigh, and actually gauge that trigger pull to the best of our abilities. I'll be right back, and we're gonna start out with the trigger pull. Handy dandy trigger gauge here, so we'll go ahead and start with the pistol. We will do them both, but starting with the pistol. Again, we are clear and good to go. Let's go ahead and do probably 2 for each to get the best of our ability. I'm going to brace it against my shoulder, push down with that on my left hand. Hopefully we get an accurate reading in 3, 2. 6.42 on the first trigger pull. Second trigger pull, right there in the middle, in 3, 2. 6.10. So right around a 6-pound trigger. Now, in my opinion, they felt the same. So let's go ahead and get a rifle trigger pull just to verify and clarify. All right, reset that. Push down, got it against my shoulder, in 3, 2. 6.2, so one more time, just so that way I do 2 on both, but it should be right there, in 3, 2. 7.25. I pulled a little bit longer on that one, but yes, right around a 6-pound trigger for both of these guys, which is always good to see that they are exactly what you would expect from mil-spec triggers. Now, let's move on to the measurements. Overall length, we're going to do buttstock in first, because you might need to know what you're packing it. So if you have a bag that's only a certain length, this may be good information for you. You are looking at right about 32 and a half, actually put it right there, right at 32 inches with the buttstock closed, with it pulled out. Let's go ahead and grab that. Stay steady, rifle, don't fall on me. Right at 35 and a half inches total from tip to butt. So that'll help you if you need to store it. Now, let's go ahead and grab the pistol and see exactly how long this is. I relate a little bit more with the pistol, being on the shorter side myself. Yet when you're a 5'6" male, you definitely are on the short side. So 26 inches, nothing wrong with being on the short side. So we are right at that almost 29, about 29 and a half inch mark on the pistol variant that's fully extended. So those are the measurements for the Hi-Point rifle and pistol. Now, let's bring out the scale and see if that is accurate as well. Scale's on the table, so let's go ahead and measure out that pistol first. Remember, that was 4.25 pounds, that's what they said it was. So let's see if that's accurate. Oh, come on, stay like that. It won't. Okay, we are 5.50, so that's gotta be with the mag, right? 5.31. Hi-Point. Might want to update that website. I'm curious as to, it might be that they measured it without the stock, or I'm sorry, the brace on this model or something, but definitely you're looking at a 5-pound gun with the mag, obviously over 5 pounds. So that is the pistol variant. Let's find out what the rifle one is. My guess is we're coming in a little heavier. That was 6.25 pounds, and we are 6.41. More accurate on the rifle. I'm curious why the discrepancy there. Either way, I'm sure they'll fix it. Could be an honest mistake. Without the mag, in case you're wondering, you were looking at 6.14 pounds. So that's all I have for you guys today on the Hi-Point HR-15 rifles, both the rifle and the pistol variant, I should say. So if you have any experiences with the Hi-Point rifle or pistol or any AR-15 that's a Hi-Point in general, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. That's all I have for you today. God bless, stay safe. It is time to end. Now, I want to go shoot this thing. Forgot about the rifle, gotta shoot that too.